Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I'm your most favorite manifestation life energy coach under the sun. The reason why there's no such coaching program like my coaching program, and nobody spends as much time with and on their clients like I do. True story. All the information from me is below. You have the choice between two packages now. First one, which I recommend, is the signature one, of which I recommend 2 to 3 months in coaching with me, in which time I have the ability to go through the coaching program and leave you in a place where you've shifted. At the very least, you have shifted. Your energy is different. Your vibe is different. And of course, more often than not, versus what I'm hearing about other coaches, not for nothing, gotta slip it in. Truth is truth. You start manifesting because of the change of the energy. You start having aha moments. You start having healings. You start having, I don't know, money drops from the sky, things like that. The most important thing is your energy. And so that's why I start my coaching from childhood. I need to understand your beliefs. I need to really unpack all of those things, really look at them and allow you to process certain drama panorama, as I call it, not to make light of it, but essentially anything that traumatic, any kind of, anger that you may be carrying around at the moment, or some kind of unforgiveness, etc., resentment. Those are kind of like key for people to let go based on what they experienced. And so once that is shifted, like, you can really achieve a monumental kind of revolutionary event in your life, if you let me, if you let me guide you. Okay. And so the recipe is quite simple, but the work, it really does depend on you, I have to say, because if you don't show up ready to work, and allow me to guide you, this process will not work very well for you. In a sense, you need to trust me. And so I always encourage people to go check out more than enough of my videos. I have, I don't know how many, over 300 for sure, on my channel, but the one package, the signature 2 to 3 months, like I said, or the new one on the go. Okay, and this is just less sessions, the same process ensues, but the reason I incorporated this into, my coaching is because people have been asking me for this. So this is for someone, it's less money, but it's also less sessions. And so for me, I recommend the signature because of the intensity, because you're able to achieve so many things it's in such a short period of time. It's actually mesmerizing what could be done. So this Saturday, we do have a live, okay, at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So mark your calendars, as they say. But most importantly, subscribe. If you're new, hit the bell for notifications. You're not going to want to miss this. This is a really good one. It's called Celebrating the Solution Now. This is my favorite. This is how I've jumped realities, several million times over. No, just kidding. It seems like that, though. The most amazing manifestations that I've had, I literally produced them last minute, or in the face of some kind of adversity, always some kind of a story like that, and I pull a miracle out of my behind, kind of deal. Now, you don't have to wait for such an event to occur. You can use this in everyday life, and like what I try to do for people is to bring them the practical side of manifestation, instead of like making it super fucking difficult for people to understand. Just like basics, for even for a child to be able to understand it. Not that I expect children. No, this is not for children to listen to mine, because I swear on my channel. Now, disclosure, if there's anybody out there that you see speaking like me, talking like me, having the same pricing down to the number, so much so that I had to adjust mine. Can you imagine? Recently, just to not be, this is not the product that is mine. Okay, this is a scam. This is completely not the same. I've had people in my coaching complain to me about this. So please don't confuse me with a person that talks like me and parodies me and charges the same amount of money, promising to revolutionize your life. Okay, so that has nothing to do with me, and that is not my product. Just wanted to be clear. I understand it's an investment for a lot of people. So like my heart genuinely breaks for something like this to happen. But I've had cases in my coaching, like I said, meaning for those people to come to me to kind of like help them because they needed coaching after that. So today the title is Seeing Signs, but no fucking SP. So this is a request from one of my former clients. And this is a question actually that comes up quite a bit with different people. So it's, common kind of situation. You have a sign for your SP, you have a sign for money, you have a sign for whatever, and you start seeing the signs. You start seeing a lot of signs, maybe, like some people in my coaching have joked, Anna, I keep seeing feathers everywhere. I'm collecting these feathers now. Like, what the fuck do you want me to do with these feathers? Build a bird? Oh my God, so funny. And so listen, feathers are feathers and signs are signs, and they're wonderful like that to keep you encouraged. This is what they're there for, I would say, to keep you encouraged, to keep you in the same frequency, because the universe is really benevolent and it really does want the best for you. It does want you to have your manifestation. But I feel like a lot of people attach, so much importance to an SP versus a feather. Okay, let's be clear here and honest, that they make it long. They make it longer, or they delay it like for years sometimes. Okay, so it becomes that you really need to, goes back to what you're ready to receive, what you're really willing to accept as natural and normal in this minute right now, what it is that you really believe, because the beliefs are literally creating your reality down to the minutest detail. It creates like, I have a cup of tea right here. I know that I'm creating this cup of tea. I know that I'm creating this room. I know that I'm creating even my dog and this and that. I have all of this because I believe in what I'm seeing. If I change my belief, then, naturally the depiction of my reality will change, if that makes any sense. So don't take things for granted that you're already seeing as your reality, in other words. So just realize, for some reason, you're not believing that this is just as natural and normal as look around your room and saying, oh, I'm creating this room. It's like that for me. This is how I see it. This is how I explain it. So there's a part of you that's not accepting this to be just as easy. Something that you put on a pedestal, in other words, is not going to be like here in 3 seconds. Okay? It's just not. That is not the way the universe flows. You got to let it in with, and again, just like I mentioned, when people have a lot of resentment, and sometimes covered up resentment, so much so they really can't even like accept it themselves, it seems sometimes, and it takes them like a little minute to get there. Yeah, you know what, I'm actually really kind of feeling angry at this person, and that's really like so fucking helpful to realize, because then you know what to work on, if you find yourself in this position. But the thing is, that's the only thing that really blocks you. There's no no conspiracy against you out there for you not to have your desire, your SP, or whatever the fuck you please. The entire dance is between you and you. Okay, so the number one thing is to stop freaking out. Okay, first of all, when it's here's the deal. People really manifest, I've been on YouTube for 2 years now. I had the enormous privilege to work with all sorts of people, and most people who've been watching YouTube too much versus the ones that I've coached off YouTube that don't have the fucking time to watch YouTube so much. Not for nothing, but true story. Like, I mean, actors and stand-up comedians are usually on the road, okay, making content. The ones from YouTube really feel like it's an impossible dream. There's this underlying, and I've always said this, there's this underlying communication, I feel, for the majority of coaches. And I know I've said this before, but I'll never get tired of saying this, of almost like, there's this feeling of like kind of satisfying somebody who has a drug addiction. Okay, that's what my impression is. And treating that person as a junkie rather than giving them the entire truth, how to excuse me, how to really get there. You know what I mean? How to really, not like little by little this technique. No, it's just, what are you thinking? What are you thinking right now? It's not such a fucking mystery. What are you thinking? You start thinking a thought, let's just say about your SP, and if you get carried away and you start, thinking of all the reasons why they, don't deserve your forgiveness, let's just say, for example. But at the same time, you're saying that you want them back. How does this work? So naturally, you got letting go to do, and then embarking 100% zeroing in on one version of events only. One version of events. If you're not manifesting it, in other words, you're not bringing it in for some reason. Okay, you're deciding to do that. It's not like, again, no one's like, again, sitting there like plotting against you. Really important to understand, because I feel like, again, a lot of people, not for nothing, I know my parents, holy shit, fucking bananas, really depressing kind of like mentality. But they lived in that time, and it rubbed off, and maybe your parents were even older. I have these people in my coaching, and that's a whole other fucking situation. Let me tell you that, because it's just not true. And we're finally at this age where all of this is being kind of like exposed as completely ridiculous. What a gift. So take advantage and start really questioning what really applies to you. What really applies to you in terms of, why would you decide to not have this wonderful experience with your SP? Because yes, that you can change them. Yes, you can do all sorts of different things. But to examine, like, what is this one little angry tiny voice inside of you, or pissed off one, or resentful, whatever, is saying, fuck this. No, because that's what you're saying. You're the king or queen of your universe. It's within you. Once that goes, your vibration frees up for other fucking ideas. Quite naturally so, because now you're not bogged down by all of that junk. Okay? So when you're creating, the most important question to ask, and listen, it's a journey for different, like, I want you to understand, it's a fucking journey. It's a journey, all right. Okay, you need to understand that this is not, like what people expect to get out of manifestation, to manifest instantaneously and to become a guru overnight. Like, how does this even make sense again? Like, I don't understand people like that. It's instantaneous in that it's achieved. If the vibration is achieved instantaneously, you don't have to worry about the rest. Okay? And yes, sometimes it comes the next day, but you're going to have to get there in your own process. But it's a journey still, from the point, from the start line of you desiring something to getting it. Yeah, there's like a recalibration of your vibration that's happening. A real one. You're recalibrating yourself so you can have other ideas about others. And you can forgive a ton of fucking shit if you Even though I understand it could be difficult, okay? I really do. Trust me, I know that, but you're doing it for yourself. So when people ask me, Anna, why do I have to do this work? My answer is always the same: for yourself, darling, for yourself. This entire shebang is just for you to have a better experience. And for that, listen, it's worth all the time and money, in my opinion. So ask yourself this simple question: what is undisputably true to you in your life? What is undisputably true? Like I said, my cup is here, my dog is here, I'm looking at, the fireplace and doobie-doo, and I'm thinking what I'm going to say next. This is all, decided. I believe in this, and this is how it's produced because I believe in it. Okay? So this is undisputably true. Right now, because I believe it, I'm here. Okay? I could be anywhere else right now. But because this is what I'm believing and I'm vibrating as, this is what surrounds me now. Okay? The minute you stop accepting something as a fact, as truth, okay, as a fundamental truth, your reality recalibrates itself. It just does. And all of a sudden, the new rules apply, and the old shit is just, who cares? It works just like that. So accepting fully that your SP can ring you up, can email you, can apologize, whatever you want him to do or her to do, it's not a big deal because it's just like a feather. It's just like a feather. I know it's a person and it's, a feather is an inanimate object. I get it. But this is exactly how a non-event it should be. It should be something that's completely secondary. And this is why, some people have called me narcissist. I make it about you, taking care of you, making sure that you address why you're not giving yourself this experience rather than pretending that the other person has any free will. Okay? The question becomes, why am I not manifesting it? Why do I consider this harder and this is so simple for me, to manifest a feather? Don't get me wrong, a feather's signs and this and that, the numbers, they're all really, really fun reminders, just like I said. But the idea is obviously to get beyond this whilst having this, the signs, I mean. So you can experiment on something simple, but then put it into actually, freaking yourself out by maybe going in the direction of manifestation that would, be completely out of character. I feel like that's another thing when it's something unprecedented for people. It takes a little bit longer for them to get there because they don't have anything to compare it to. For me today, it's actually the fun part because if I don't have any notes to refer to, I can be like totally, from scratch. But that's not everybody's case. Okay, they really, they have to really use a lot of imagination, and that might take longer. But it still doesn't matter. I'll explain on a simple example, and maybe you can experiment and prove to yourself over and over. And I know a lot of you, already are doing that. But I feel like the more you get in the habit of doing that and conducting your world, conducting your day, you get familiar with your power more and more. And when you're not doing that, then you naturally are not doing that. Okay, it's as simple as that. So I'll give you a very stupid example. It's the best ones. Okay, I'm looking for boots right now, flat boots. I've decided that I'm done kind of like walking in heels all the time for the moment. And I want these boots, and I had a really specific, style in mind, that the boots that I had 15 years ago or something, and I wore them to death. I mean, they were like amazing, like over the knee, like gorgeous leather. Sorry, I'm vegan, but gorgeous leather, flat, like pointy toe, like fucking spectacular. And anyway, I since I haven't like really noticed them anywhere and never seen anything like it, and I kind of like put it out there, This is how simple it is. Like, I would really love to wear these boots, these kinds of boots. So I'm taking my walk today, and I see somebody wearing exactly this kind of boot. This was like 2 days ago or something. Exactly that fucking boot. And I'm like, how the fuck is this possible even? Because it's like literally like the universe drew it up on me for me, And I stopped this lady and I asked her where she got them. So now I'm going to get the boots. That's how easy. But see, you might think that boots, again, it's not the same as a person. It is. A lot of you get signs because this person is already thinking of you. They're already thinking of you. It's a given. Again, I've said this like a million times over before. It doesn't exist that somebody is on your mind and they're completely indifferent towards you. Like, I'm sorry. It's just lunacy to think this. They're already thinking of you. They're already willing to do whatever you want them to do. The part that is, the stuckness of it is that you're not making up your mind, or there's some kind of disbelief about this being possible, okay? Because like I said, if you decided, a decision is not like, so let me make sure that everybody understands what decisions are, okay? Because, language is tricky this way sometimes. A decision is basically a commitment. A decision is, I've decided what I want, but I've also decided for the other person. I've also decided for that something to come into my life. There is no negotiation. There is no kind of like asking questions. It's not an interview. It's a command, okay? So when you've decided, you've commanded. You decided that this person is coming back to you. That's all you really need to arrive to. They're coming back to you. Maybe they're taking their sweet time to figure out what to say to you, blah, 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 making arrangements, getting the courage to approach you, whatever the fuck the situation is. But understand that this is how much power you have over somebody, yes, at a distance. Doesn't just have to be this person, over anybody you want to, okay? Provided, I always have to say this, provided your heart is in it. If your heart's not in it to energetically influence somebody, because whatever, it could be different reasons. Perhaps the energy discord between you and this person is so huge, you don't want to get into their energy whatsoever. You just want to kind of like not. But if you're like this person, let's just put it this way, and your heart's in it, yeah, you can affect anybody you want. Now, remember, the person is always doing what you instruct them to do. So examine your thoughts. What are they saying to me? What are they doing right now? And when did I command that? Okay. So again, if they're not showing up, that is also a command. Don't show up, not yet. There's a decision being made constantly throughout your day where it's you choosing to wait for some reason. You're choosing to delay this. Maybe it's overwhelming. Again, maybe you've never, been in a situation like this. Maybe you don't believe it. Maybe the whole thing is just overwhelming. So this is what I help do in coaching, okay? To kind of like really bring it down to earth, your manifestation, and to stop making such a big fucking deal about it. Because it's not. Nothing is more important than you are. And that's not narcissism. That's just understanding how creation really happens. Okay? So the things that you accept fully without questioning, those things are automatically here. And so the journey then becomes from the moment of conception of a desire all the way, and seeing the signs and this and that, all the way to manifestation. Right before manifestation, there's a certain acceptance of it. Okay, there's an acceptance. There is no worry. There is no hysteria. Like I said, you're not worried about anything. What would you be worried about if you fully accepted that Your SP is exactly where you need them to be. Basically missing you like crazy, being in love with you, and they're on the brink of reaching out. If you can capture this feeling, you can not only just the feeling, but this belief, this knowing, okay, head to toe, I'm in a new reality where things are like this, okay? You won't need to chase it. It will come to you, because in this new reality, you're assuming a whole other thing. Like the other reality where this SP never shows up is right next door. But you want the other reality. So they coexist. Everything just coexists. You can be in different realities like on any particular day. But consistently choosing a different reality other than the one you are looking at right now, if it's not what you prefer, that's your job as an orchestrator of your reality. That's the discipline of the mind. So you don't have to chase it. Like, how much chasing did I have to do for these fucking boots, quite frankly? I mean, the universe is freaky like that, you know? Sometimes I just think of something and it shows up in like some kind of a message, in somebody texts me, the person totally changes their mind according to what I was thinking. It's like totally bizarre how much power you have. So just initially start to download that if this is news for you, that you're affecting your reality just like that, just understand that you do and that you're choosing to. You're choosing to. So then if it doesn't suit you, then why are you doing that versus something else? And you know, as ultra complicated as people try to do it, to make it sound like, it really isn't. All the answers are within you, and no amount of videos, quite frankly, will ever help you because, again, the answers are within you. Thank you very much for listening. All the information from me is below. Until next time, ciao, ciao.